Oh, yeah, looks like we're live. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back. I'm Big John at Big Man, Alaska, up here in Anchorage, Alaska. And today I got an announcement, and also I'm going to talk a little bit about my follow up for the week. I didn't really discuss it or cover it too much last week because I was doing a video about a new product I got, the Life Pro vibration plate, which works extremely well, by the way. I've been getting a lot of benefits from the Life Pro vibration plate, and it actually makes me want to get out and go for walks. I mean, it's incredibly important to be able to have your mobility and be able to get up and actually go do stuff. Now, today was a pretty sad day. Uh, I got up, the girls were all ready to go. We were going to walk our girls to school, and we took our dog with us this time. And I believe my wife said our dog Sadie, she's about 100 and something years old in dog years. She's really old for dogs. But this was the first time I ever took my dog for a walk where she wasn't pulling me all the time. She was actually walking behind me. I was out walking my own dog. I mean, like actually walking faster than my own dog, which really kind of stunk. I wasn't very happy with that, that she's not doing that well. I mean, this poor dog's been around a while. She's been on a lot of hunting trips, and we're kind of getting worried about her in her old age. So yeah, like I said, we were out trying to walk the dog, and she just wasn't working well. And yeah, it's kind of sad for all of us here because she's been a great dog. She's been on a lot of hunting trips and stuff like that. But today's video, yeah, we're going to be talking about a little bit of updates on my, what happened last week. Like last week was a major plateau, by the way. It wasn't a week of any weight loss, but then again, it wasn't a week of any weight gain. So having a plateau is good as long as it's a maintenance type week. I'm eating food, and at the same time, I'm not gaining weight. So that's a thumbs up for me right there. I mean, it's frustrating when you're on a weight loss journey and you're trying to lose weight week to week, but we have to be realistic with our weight loss and our goals. So my weight stayed the same. I'm okay there. Now, I believe what slowed me down was in the beginning of the week after I got done doing a fast, is that I was getting into chicken wings. I mean, I'm learning a lot of this stuff as I go. I mean, chicken wings definitely slows down the weight loss. Chicken in general might slow down weight loss. There's a lot of things that slow down weight loss that I've been finding out. Even if you go from like a low, like zero type weight loss strategy, which is what I did beforehand, which was little to no exercise. So if you start implementing in exercise, that's going to slow down your weight loss as well. I mean, just water weight, all kinds of other factors go into losing weight that I've finally learned and I've started to consider. Let's see, we got 7 people in the stream. I appreciate you guys for dropping in here. I'm Big John from Alaska. I talk about weight loss and try to make it simple and easy for other people out there trying to get their journey started. And that's the most important thing to me, is I just try to share my journey, my embarrassments, and the stuff I do in order to lose weight. I am on the carnivore diet, and the reason I'm on the carnivore diet is because I'm a binge eater. I like to eat everything. If you put it on my plate, chances are it's going to get consumed. That's the kind of person I am. I like to eat a lot of food all the time. But the carnivore diet has helped me manage everything. And it's actually kickstarted a lot of things in my body and my weight and the overall way I feel, my appearance. I mean, just everything has been absolutely amazing just by getting rid of all the overly processed foods, especially in the center aisles of all the stores. I mean, it was so incredibly simple, even though I tried to overscience this. I don't know why I overscienced this. Let's see here. So far, we got nobody in the chat, which is odd. We got 12 people in here. So if you can just at least put something in the chat, that way I know somebody's here. BK, Belgian Carnivore. Hey, big man. Hey, I appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, today we're just going over a couple things that happened to me last week that potentially stalled my weight loss. Stuff like chicken wings. I was also getting into a little bit of cheese. I wasn't overdoing the cheese, but that slowed things down and created a pretty decent plateau. So one of the big announcements that I had for this week is that me and Todd at Carnivore Cure, he invited me to this fasting application. Now, the fasting application involves a whole bunch of people in the same application, so we can kind of keep track of each other. We can message each other through the app. We can also give each other, prompts on, what type of fast they're doing. And the fast that he came up with is going to be, I believe it's an 84-hour fast. So I can eat today and I can eat tomorrow up until, so on Tuesday at 11 a.m. is when the fast starts. And then the fast will be over Saturday morning. So my particular fast might go a little bit longer because on Saturday mornings, that's when I usually record my weigh-in, and then I'm recording my weekly update. So if you guys are interested in my weekly updates, by all means, subscribe to the channel, follow along. We talk about this stuff every week. I do plenty of these vertical live streams. I also do some of the horizontal live streams. Yeah, and I just try to be as realistic as possible as we go. Can I ask some quitting smoking questions? Yeah, you can. I haven't been super successful with getting rid of nicotine altogether. I'm still using little vape products like that to get me by and get me through to the week. I have been completely tobacco free for quite some time now. So I'm not into the tobacco products whatsoever, but I do still struggle with the nicotine. And the nicotine, when I quit before, I went and gained about 25 pounds, 26 pounds. It was staggering how fast the weight came back on, because when you quit nicotine, it brings back all these bad things, all your habits and stuff, like all your other habits. And you're basically just trying to cover up one bad habit using other bad habits. And my bad habit was the way I was eating food. Let's see, I am now 4 weeks nicotine free. Congratulations there, BK, Belgian Carnivore. I appreciate hearing that. And 2 months tobacco free. That is awesome. I mean, if you can maintain that without also gain 25 pounds. All right, that's what he said there. So like I said, you're going to gain some weight because it creates a lot of stress in the body, releases cortisol and stuff like that. This is the same situation I found out as this person here that's commenting here in the live feed. But cravings are crazy. Yeah, sugar cravings, carb cravings, pretty much anything unhealthy was something I was fighting. I mean, I totally went off the rails for a little while, about a week or so, and I was just amazed at how much weight I gained. Now, so that 25 pounds, the one thing we have to consider, that's not all fat gain. I mean, it's almost impossible to put on 25 pounds of fat in a 7-day period, let alone in 2 weeks. I mean, you might have gained a couple fat pounds back, like maybe 2 to 3 pounds to be realistic. And then the rest of that weight, that's all water weight. But when you see those numbers just on the scale, it just drives us bat crazy, insane. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. So yeah, stalls are one of those things that we just have to deal with all the time. I mean, especially on any type of weight loss. I mean, it doesn't matter what I did before in the past. If I was doing keto or just basically exercising, eating more salads, and just trying to be more healthy and active in general, it didn't matter what I did. I didn't know why the things were working. And that's the important part about the carnivore community, is we have a lot of people, a lot of support that kind of break down the narrative as to exactly why this stuff works, why it doesn't work. And when we just toss the ideas back and forth across the table and see what people come up with, because I don't have all the experience. This is why I'm part of the community, and I'm also a part of everybody else that's creating videos around the carnivore community as well, is because that's how we get ideas. That's how we get better knowledge about our own health at times. And the off-scale victories are just amazing. That's the one thing I absolutely love about being on the carnivore diet. Let's see, KetoVore Journey. Good evening, buddy. Hey, how you doing? KetoVore Journey, where are you chiming in from, by the way? You're saying good evening. You must be on the other side of the pond. Yeah, you guys didn't know, I'm here in Anchorage, Alaska, by the way. The weather outside is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to give you a quick turnaround so you guys can see out the window. I apologize, that camera lens is dirty, and I'm probably going to have to clean that, but it's just gorgeous outside, and that's the entryway I built a couple summers ago, and I did that on purpose, so I had a nice sunlit area. I also thought about using it as a greenhouse, but it doesn't really work as well for a greenhouse. I got to see if I can find something to clean that front lens, because I plan on using that pretty soon. I don't know. We always have a bunch of these little handy dandy things around to clean the camera lenses until you actually need one. And, I create a lot of content, so I use these cameras a lot. I'm just cleaning the front lens right now. Now I'll start cleaning that back lens off a little bit. That way, when I do flip you guys around, you can actually see what I'm talking about. Because we're going to head on over to the stove. I'm hungry. That's the reason I was doing this live stream in the first place. I'm hungry. And I'm also a little bit disappointed in this particular piece of cookware that I have. Now, I know a lot of you also have ceramic cast iron cookware. And I love cast iron in general because it heats evenly. It retains the heat. You know, once you get it up to a certain temperature, you can literally shut the cast iron off. You can take the heat away, and it's still heating and it's still cooking your food slowly. So, which is extremely helpful if you're adding stuff like cheese and stuff like that. So I got to move my dog out of the way. She's kind of in the way. But, all right. So one of the things I'm going to eat today, I've got these frozen burger patties I just sorted out yesterday from one of those big giant chubs you get from Costco. And I can't remember, I think I got more chub. I tried to cut them real specifically this time so I could get a better weight on them, like a little bit lighter, because the last time I made these, they were almost 1 pound patties. They were absolutely ridiculously heavy, by the way. So, all right, we're going to get my cast iron over here fired up. I just put a little bit of seasoning on this. So this is my Lodge cast iron. I love this thing, by the way. I haven't used it very much because I have this thing. Now, the very thing that disappoints me the most about this, but also the very thing I love the most about this, is this really heavy duty lid that it has on it. Now, the beautiful thing is this lid is all cast iron as well, and it happens to fit on top of my Lodge pan. Now, the reason I'm retiring this pan, for obvious reasons, you can see that looks absolutely horrible, doesn't it? I mean, I've cleaned it. This is actually a little bit dirty after the dogs licked it. But unfortunately, this is a sad day because we're going to have to see this thing away. But another thing I wanted to mention, if you do own ceramic cast iron, never let it soak in the sink because it'll create this rust around the edge. And there was also a mark in there that I made with a product that I got for cleaning the regular cast iron. And that didn't work out on the ceramic. Dropping stuff, but that's the point of a live stream. But I was using a product like this, and I tried to get some of that nasty stuff off with this. Don't use this on ceramic. It makes horrible swirls in it. The metal kind of embeds itself into the ceramic, so never use something like this. Only use something like this on a regular piece of cast iron. You live and you learn, you know, but you know, we got our use out of that ceramic pan. I got to pick up stuff that I was knocking on the floor because my little tongs here, I like to hang them up here on the wall. That way when it's barbecue season, they're really easy to go get. But yeah, let's, I don't know why they do that. They got these buttons are horrible. They're little tiny buttons. But yeah, we hang all our barbecue stuff right there because the front door is right there. We just head out around the corner and then boom, we're to the grill. But like I said, this poor cast iron pan, I'm not even going to waste my time trying to save it. We're just going to have to see you later. I'll miss you. And it did. It worked really, really well. So in the meantime, we're going to get this fired up. Like I said, I did season it a little bit. I used some olive oil to just give it a light run around. That way when it gets all heated up, we're going to let this heat up. And then we're going to add in the burger patties. Because I'm hungry, and I haven't cooked burgers from frozen in this particular cast iron skillet, so you never know what we're going to have. And I'm getting a phone call right in the middle of this. We're going to have to pause it. I can call them back. They're probably calling me to tell me I got a paycheck, which is good. So that's good news. Let's see, Northern Stitcher, barbaric, how? Yeah, we had to get rid of the pan. I mean, it's depressing, but it is one of those things. Hi from sunny Anchorage, Northern Stitcher. Oh, hey there. Yeah, I remember you, Northern Stitcher. I appreciate you dropping in. Yeah, today we're just going to be making up some frozen burger patties in the cast iron skillet. I haven't done it this way before because normally I would use a ceramic coated, and it cooks almost like a Dutch oven. Now, I do believe I'm going to have some possible issues with this because this particular Lodge cast iron cookware that I have, you flipped around again, we're going to be doing that a lot. It has these little pour spouts right here, so I'm going to be losing a lot of the moisture right out through that. And it's got one on either side. So there we go. We got some heat up going there. Okay, that's a good temperature. Now I usually just warm it up on high with the lid on, and then I'll just turn it way down. You can see a little bit of smoke in there. If I set off the smoke alarm, I apologize. But yeah, we're going to get our burgers in there and then move on from there. So, all right. I am hungry. I need to eat some food, good food, before I start this next fast. It's starting on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Yeah, you hear that sizzle? That is a beautiful sound. Oh, man. Now we're going to let that just sit for a little while and see what happens. Like I say, when I cook burgers like this, I cook them on very, very low heat. I like them to cook really slow, especially since they're from frozen. So I just let them cook on low heat, and then eventually they'll be up to temperature where I want them to be. And since I bought this handy dandy food thermometer, these are only like 20 bucks. I never even looked into them before. I never cooked a lot of meat until I started the carnivore diet, and I never knew the importance of these silly things, because you could make a perfect burger just by setting these things up correctly and then having a simple little alarm go off when it gets to temperature. So cooking stuff like burger meat, like hamburger steak, you want a temperature of around 160 degrees. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not a cook. I am now. I'm starting to be. I'm learning. And then if you're cooking stuff like poultry, 165, for chicken, turkey and stuff like that. It's a great way to stay safe. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit, and then hopefully we can enjoy some amazing burgers. But I was talking to a gal this morning on her channel, because there was a few people out there that were commenting on her carnivore topics. And I was just trying to let them know, I said, you don't need to over-science carnivore, because they were talking about trying to balance the fats and stuff like that. Now, the best way to start carnivore, in my opinion, is basically keep it simple. Keep it simple, keep it very inexpensive. And the way I do that is I buy, a 10-pound chub of ground beef. Now, you can buy it in a couple different ways with 80-20, fat ratio. That's 80-20 meat to 20% fat. Or you can get 70-30, and you can try it both ways. But try to keep to the same brand of meat until you get a basic understanding if that's the type of meat you like, or if it works well for you. And hopefully it's something you can go back to and purchase again at a very inexpensive price. Right now we're using the meat section at the Costco Business Center, and we're getting 10 pounds of chub from anywhere from $29.99 to a little bit less than that for, like, if you wanted the 70-30. And I haven't tried the 70-30 ground beef yet, but I do plan on purchasing some just to see how it works with the way everything works overall in my body. Yeah, we'll just see what happens there and see how it goes. Let's see, who do we got in the stream here? I don't see anybody talking today. This is odd. I'm used to lots of people talking. Okay, should I just sit here and wait until somebody says something and gives me a bright idea on what to say next? But okay, another topic that somebody was talking about is they were having like explosive, on the go type diarrhea situation. And they're only about 34, 35 days into the carnivore diet. And that is a real thing. That's a situation on any type transition of lifestyle. So if you're going from eating the traditional SAD diet to a vegan diet, vegetarian diet, keto diet, carnivore type diet, you're making a dramatic change in your body. So no matter what, you might have a similar issue going any of those routes where you have a hard time digesting food sometimes. Sometimes your gut slows down, in my case. And then in other people's cases, the digestive system speeds up. So it's really rushing everything out really fast. So, and this person just happened to be drinking coffee in the morning with quite a bit of butter. She makes this frothy coffee with butter in it. And that's kind of how that works. If you want to get stuff moving in your gut, you add additional fats, especially to your morning coffee. Now, coffee is going to kickstart you know, the whole sensation of trying to get stuff to come out of the gut. Let's see, what's your channel about? I mainly talk about carnivore topics, weight loss topics from a morbidly obese man's perspective. And so far, I've lost approximately 130 to 135 pounds in the last 47 weeks. And we're just going to keep on going with that. And that was Carol. I can't pronounce that last name. It looks Swedish. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much what we talk about. And right now, I am, you know, basically talking about the situations with the carnivore lifestyle and people that are having issues with pooping. Now, poop is an incredible topic. Doesn't matter what type of diet or lifestyle you have, because certain things will change things, you know, as far as your digestion goes. And if you're eating the standard American diet, the trash diet, overly processed foods with a whole bunch of seed oils and vegetable oils and stuff like that, your gut is screwed up. So anytime you get away from that, you're going to have digestive issues. Either you're going to slow it down or it's going to speed it up. And just trying to find that balance of natural fats is the key. And that doesn't matter if you're on an all vegetable type diet either. That's going to change everything about your gut and the way things digest. I got to get back over here and double check on these burgers, because we got some burgers cooking up in the cast iron. And what I like to do is get a plate set out that way, because I like to set my spatula down on top of a plate. Set you guys down there and let you see what's going on. All right. So anyways, like I said, I haven't cooked with this setup before. It doesn't look like it's doing too bad. Now, it's not holding in the same amount of moisture that my other pan did. And so far, it's not doing too bad of a job. Now, I am worried about a little bit of burning, because like I said, I haven't cooked burgers this way on this particular pan, so I don't know if I'm going to ruin the burgers or not. So actually, I'm going to lower the temperature even more, because I don't want these to burn and scald. I always have some bacon grease handy, you know, just in case. I'm just going to run that around the pan. Let that bacon grease get in there. I use a lot of bacon grease when cooking hamburgers, because it just adds that extra little bit of fat that you actually need on the carnivore diet, and it seems to work. And right here, I got some Redmond's real salt with garlic in it. I'm gonna spread some of that on. Now, the nice thing about the Redmond's real salt, even with the garlic, is it's a good healthy salt. So even if you're not making your own electrolytes, just adding that type of salt in there will actually give you the electrolytes. You just eat your meat heavily salted. And another salt I love to use is this Himalayan pink salt, and it's got a nice ceramic grinder on top. So it just, and for some reason I feel like Himalayan pink salt tastes a little bit sweeter compared to other salts. Just has a really nice flavor. I like using this for making electrolyte type drinks, which is super easy to do, by the way. So we're just gonna let that sit for a little while. Hopefully I don't ruin my burgers, because I'd be really upset if I ruined my burgers. But let's see. Lower the heat, it will help, and cover the pan. That's exactly what I did there, Carol. I appreciate that. But yeah, the heat is like literally all the way down. The setting that I was using is the setting I would normally use if I was using the other pan that I just threw in the garbage, because it just keeps progressively getting worse and worse. It's unsightly. And since I create videos, it's kind of embarrassing having a white coated skillet and trying to make anything cooking related with that dark dingy brown. It just doesn't look very appealing. Even if I was the one watching the video from somebody else's perspective, I just be like, oh, that just doesn't sit well with me. So, you know, I try to be considerate in that aspect. So, but anyways, let's talk about back to the poop situation. So I've had several different situations when it comes to pooping on carnivore. Now, when I first got started with carnivore, especially in the first 30 to 40 days, and at that time I was eating a 90-10 eating principle with 90% meats and fats, 10% I didn't care, whatever else it was, but I was trying to keep it ketogenic friendly, just to not ruin all my potential weight loss for that time period. And I was having a lot of gut issues. I was reaching out to a lot of people trying to figure out, like, hey, why does my it was like the upper part of my gut felt overly full all the time, almost like I was eating a bunch of carbs and a bunch of pizza, stuff like that just doesn't digest correctly. Who else we got in here? Conrad says hi. I want to say hi to Conrad. I'm Big John here in Alaska. I talk about weight loss from being morbidly obese to where I'm at currently, and what I plan on doing next for the following weeks is my main topics that I cover here. So if any of that is stuff you're interested in, by all means, subscribe to the channel, check it out. I talk about a lot of carnivore related topics because mainly all I'm doing right now is eating meats and fats and trying to gain some better health, because I'm just sick and tired of feeling like crap. And I didn't realize just how crappy I felt when I was eating the standard trash diet, which everybody considers normal, by the way. It's like, oh, you're not eating garbage food from the center aisles, you're bad, you're going to die. It's totally polar opposite, and that's what all the foods in the center aisles do to people, is they twist the brain. They make you think in different ways. It doesn't work out well. Your judgment is skewed. But as soon as you get away from all that stuff, you get away from the deep fried foods, all the seed oils, the vegetable oils, soybean oil, soy especially, you just get rid of all that stuff for a period of time, and you guys would completely understand exactly what I'm talking about, because your mind clears up. Before I started this weight loss journey, I was making other YouTube videos about shopping related type topics. I was a very frustrated YouTube creator, even though my videos were pretty popular, as far as the shopping content went, because, people are interested in Alaska shopping prices. They're interested in Alaskan stores. They like the information I was providing, but it was extremely difficult for me to provide them simple information like I can do now fluently. And I didn't get any training to talk like this on camera. This all came with the carnivore diet. It's like a full package deal. You gain mental function. You can actually function and hold a conversation and not sound like a complete boob when you get rid of all the sugars, all the soybean oils and stuff like that. There's rarely awkward pauses in my speech anymore, and I can just keep rifling out the information as quickly as possible. And it's just been such a wonderful thing. And this is why I'm doing the carnivore diet, and just the mental stamina that I have now to just keep going and going and going is all because I'm just eating meats and fats. That's it. Got rid of all the sugars, even the fruits, the vegetables and stuff like that. You get rid of the majority of those and everything's going to pick up. Your digestive system's going to start working correctly. And it's just, I'm only sharing this stuff from my perspective. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trained to do this stuff. I just talk about what's going on with me in my life as I eat, meats and fats. So if I were to give myself a rating as to exactly how carnivore I am, right now I'm approximately 98%. So, and that's a good fair range compared to 90-10. So I'm being a lot more strict, and I'm finding a lot more benefits overall, and I'm just loving it. Did you have enough salt? Because you need magnesium in your gut tract. Yes. Well, in the beginning, I was using my own personal electrolyte mix, which did have plenty of salt. And then I had a hard time with leg cramps. So I started using another product. I have everything over here. So when I make my electrolytes, this is the salt I use right here. Redmond's real salt. This is what I use, about 5 dashes in a very large glass. And the glass is right here. So I'll take 5 dashes of that salt, Redmond's real salt. It's got a lot of minerals. It's got magnesium. It's got all the good stuff. And then I'll use a product called no salt. And this is found in the similar aisle where your spices and salt and pepper and stuff like that is. And that gives me the potassium to help alleviate leg cramps. Now, something I was using before I even started weight loss, and I was using this because somebody had a bright idea to tell me to go out and eat a bunch of vegetables, eat a bunch of raw spinach, eat a bunch of nuts. So, I listened. I was like, okay, so that if I do that, I'm going to be healthier. Well, it turns out that I was retaining a lot of oxalates, and the oxalates were turning into kidney stones. So that's what brought me to this product here, which is apple cider vinegar. So I'll just take a splash of that, put it in my electrolyte drink, and then I'll top it off with a little bit of real lemon juice that I keep stored in my fridge. And this also contains some magnesium, by the way. And there's some other, healthy stuff. And this is the easiest way of doing it in Alaska, because just going out and buying lemons up here is just ridiculous. Because for one, they don't last long. they can be extremely expensive, and nobody really wants to just waste their money on stuff. May I share something regarding salt? Absolutely. That's what this is all about, is to talk back and forth. Can I have a shout out, please? Super Joe Coyer. There you go. Appreciate you for dropping in. And I'm gonna flip these burgers again and see what's going on. Oh yeah, the bacon grease did some wonders. So we're gonna flip that around so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, so yeah, I put a little bit of bacon grease in the pan. We're cooking these on extremely low heat. And these are burgers from frozen. So I like to just scoot them around the pan, give them a nice little rotation. But it shouldn't take too long to have these done. I feel like the temperature is a little bit low, but I really don't want to foobar the situation. So I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm probably going to put a little bit of salt on there too. I like my burgers heavily salted. And that's something I noticed when doing the carnivore diet, is it's not about the amount of salt that we were taught. You know, we were taught that, you know, you got too much salt, you got too much sodium in your diet. My salt intake has increased since I got on the carnivore diet. And the only reason it's increased is because now I'm using the right types of salt. You know, before I was using that regular white table salt, like the Morton's table salt. You know, some of it's got iodized and some of it's, you know, you got to read your labels on even your salt products. But those don't contain, they're highly refined, they're overly processed, they don't contain the right amount of minerals that we need to create, you know, the amount of electrolytes, the amount of magnesium we have or need or require. So that just blew me away. So now we don't use that salt anymore for cooking. We use that salt for tanning hides. You know, if my son goes out and shoots a rabbit, you know, we strip the meat and we got the hide. We use that salt to actually dehydrate the hide. So we, you know, just layer it over the rabbit skin and let it dry out that way. I don't know what that means. Aslam wa kalam. I don't even know what language that is. MD Stalin. Appreciate you jumping in either way. Let's see. In my research, I found, Carol is saying this, in my research, I found that if you use the Himalayan salt in just water, you can drink that. It helps you a lot. And also Celtic salt is very good. Yeah, Celtic salt, Himalayan pink salt. I don't like Celtic salt because it has a really earthy flavor. I have a bunch of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I don't like the way it tastes on food. I don't like the way it tastes in an electrolyte drink. Yeah, so I'm at a loss. I might use that just for tanning hides as well. It's a good quality salt, by the way. It's got tons of nutritional value. I just don't like the flavor of it. That's why I like the Himalayan pink salt and the Redmond salt, because of all the extra minerals and the extra magnesium and, you know, the good stuff that we actually need to survive. And a lot of people just don't understand that you don't have to go to the store or order online electrolytes. It's simple. You just buy good quality salts, mix it with water. And the reason I use apple cider vinegar and lemon juice is just to make it taste better. There's tons of nutritional value in the lemon juice. There's also tons of nutritional value in the apple cider vinegar, but that's a whole nother topic for another day. I mean, the stuff's great and I do it for flavor, but it also gets me the electrolytes I need. And then the vinegar actually gives you a boost of energy, which I found out just recently from a friend of mine. He was talking about how the vinegar works. He has a shot of vinegar before he eats his meat, and then he actually gains a lot of energy from it. And it totally makes sense, because I've been making this drink in a to-go bottle to go to work, and I've been using it in replacement of a coffee. So instead of like going to the store and buying an energy drink or going in the store and buying a coffee at the store, I've been using this electrolyte drink right up until about noon, and it's providing me that energy that I'm looking for, similar to when I was going out and buying an espresso or something from Starbucks. And if I don't like Starbucks, by the way, I've never liked Starbucks. I think people that go to Starbucks don't have taste buds, and I can't figure it out. Coffee beans taste different. May peace and blessings be upon you. I appreciate that, MD Stalin. That's what it is. Oh, right on. Thank you for the translation. That's very welcoming and loving. Chris Cooks from Nashville dropped in. Hello, my friend. Popping in before I have to drive home after work in a few minutes. Hey, I appreciate you, Chris. I would appreciate if you'd let me know if you've got anything going on the carnivore Cheez-Its. That would be, I'm really looking forward to that. I popped that idea into him. And if you don't know who Chris Cooks from Nashville is, definitely go check out his channel. This guy has got oodles and oodles of ketogenic, carnivore, KetoVore type recipes out there. Totally worth watching and totally worth getting some fantastic ideas from, especially if you're just trying to mix it up a little bit in your diet. Because some people think, oh, well, the carnivore diet is just boring. I find that to be the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, we can add in all kinds of different meats and proteins and fats, but depending on what you add in and what your main goal is, I find out that some things like chicken, cheese, dairy, it will just stall my weight loss. It'll just, no, you added too much. That's all you're going to get for the week. But the great thing is I've been able to maintain my weight even when I'm not losing weight. So, you know, on those off weeks like I've had for this plateau, it seems like it's been going on for 3 or 4 weeks, but it's probably only been 2 weeks. It just kind of stays flat. It's just right there. Nothing dramatic, nothing worth bragging about, except for the fact that I've kept over 130 pounds off for an extended period of time. That's fantastic. That's better than what I've ever been able to do in the past, because normally I'd lose 75, 80 pounds. And then about 2 weeks later, I'd gain back 65 pounds of that. So I've been able to maintain a weight loss in the matter of 47 weeks at minimum of 100 pounds. So yeah, this type of way of eating works. I mean, the ketogenic diet is, just ketogenic, low carb, no carb type diets are taking the nation by storm right now. It's becoming such a big deal. The carnivore diet, keto diets and stuff like that is becoming such a big deal that the news is starting to cover this stuff. Now, we need to pay attention to that because we don't know what the news is going to spin it into, because that's what the news loves to do. They love to take something good and they don't want to miss the bus either. So if something big's happening, especially with all these millions of people that have found benefits with these no carb, low carb type diets, that they're going to get their fingers in there because they want to be involved. And if things go good or go bad, especially if they go bad, because the news loves to spread fear. That's what they've been good at. And today we're supposed to be experiencing a solar eclipse, and yeah, there's a whole bunch. I mean, they activated the National Guard for that. I mean, it just sounds a little strange to me. Like, what's really going on there? Let's see, 130-pound club for the win. Same here. Oh, right on. Yeah, me and Chris were right around the same weight at the same time, and I think that's why, you know, we kind of bumped into each other. And yeah, I bug them from time to time about, you know, certain foods and stuff like that to see if we can come up with, you know, different ideas, because I just have these random epiphanies once in a while, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of craving that. I wonder if you could do something with that. And I don't even know if I could find the time myself to recreate some of his recipes, but I do plan on trying to recreate some of his recipes in my own personal way, because that's what we do here on YouTube. We just try to entertain ourselves and entertain people around us. I got to get back over here and check on these burgers, make sure they're not doing stuff, they're not misbehaving. But so far everything sounds good. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Not bad. They're definitely not up to temperature yet. Apologize for the lighting being horrible, but I live in like an old 1975 trailer home. We're just going to give these another flip, see how things are looking. Not too bad. Okay. They're definitely really red. Now this is what I was worried about when I threw away the other pan, because the other pan had a much tighter lid. I don't want to press these too hard because all the yummy juices, I like to have that intact. So since my house is like slanted that way, like all the juice kind of runs off in a different direction. Now this pan does not retain the moisture like the other pan, so it vents out through these little vents in the side. That's a little disappointing. So I'm not sure how these burgers are going to turn out. I mean, I could have probably put them in the air fryer and done a little bit better. And the last time I did do the burgers in the air fryer, they turned out pretty good, but I got to rambling on and on. I wasn't paying attention to them, so the outside coating was really crusty. It was good. I mean, it was almost like a biting into a potato chip, kind of crusty. So it's most likely too crusty for most people, but the inside was, you know, a little over, it was about 170 degrees on the inside, which is overcooked. So it was a little bit embarrassing because I like doing that type of stuff on camera anyways. I want to say hi to Amber. I appreciate you showing up in the room. Yeah, we're just talking about all kinds of stuff here today. We're talking about pooping experiences and stuff like that I've experienced. Now, I will get back into that topic there. So after a period of time of trying to transition to carnivore, and there is a transition, it's very hard for people to just flip the switch and say, I'm going to be carnivore tomorrow. So keep that in mind if you're struggling on the carnivore diet, because you're going to go through a lot of dietary, digestive changes going on in your gut. And that's what I went through. Like I said, the first stage was my gut was moving extremely slow. So I needed to increase my fat intake. And the easiest way to do that is you can consume butter. And if you're on like a KetoVore type journey where you can have other stuff, you can use coconut oil. Also works, like a spoonful of coconut oil in my coffee. That worked for, speeding up the digestive tract and getting the gut biome, back to where it needs to be. But I only used the coconut oil for a couple of weeks. And then I was like, I didn't feel like I needed it anymore. So I was getting, the fats I needed from the meat that I was consuming. And if I feel like I'm a little low on fat, I just add a little bit more butter to the meat. And that gets everything moving just fine. I haven't had a problem with pooping in a very long time, except for when I was transitioning and I was craving fruits. I was craving fruit specifically. And I'm a binge eater. So when I eat stuff, I'm going to eat a lot of it. So if I have an orange or an apple, and I got this fruit basket over here, it just taunts me every day, but I got nowhere else to put it. And it's just one of those things I'll have to deal with. So I just have to avoid the fruit basket. But when I start adding in too many fruits and I start binge eating on fruits, my poop changed color. It turned to a white, almost white, kind of light gray. And I did a ton of research on this, talked to doctors, talked to other people online about it. I found out what was possibly going on, because, when your poop becomes a real light color like that, that means there's something wrong. You're not absorbing the nutrients. You could potentially have gallbladder issues. You could have pancreas issues. You could have issues with your gut altogether. And my doctor said, well, if it goes away in 2 to 3 days, just don't eat fruit anymore. Just stay away from the fruit, stay away from the vegetables. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working. I'm already gaining a little bit better eyesight. My eye floaters are gone. My hearing's improved. I got less earwax. My arthritis is just about completely gone in all my joints. My feet feel much better. My knees don't hurt anymore. My legs aren't swollen. My water retention is under control now. So, and everybody will retain water at any point, depending on stress levels or depending on stuff that we eat, also depending on stuff we don't eat. And if we don't drink enough water throughout the day, we're going to retain weight through water, because your body's like, hey, you're not drinking enough water. We got to hold on to this. So you're going to actually gain, 8 to 16 pounds pretty quickly. And a lot of that's just water weight altogether. 2 pounds of water is a little over 16 pounds. Kenny Duncan. Okay. Oh, you're back. Let's see. Northern Stitcher. I make frozen butter bites with a packet element. That way I get my electrolytes and fat intake up. I usually have one for breakfast, but be warned, they're so delicious. I have not tried to make butter bites yet. I'm thinking about trying to make those brown butter bites. Those things look absolutely delicious. They look almost unhealthy. They look so delicious. But yeah, absolutely. I would probably salt it with my own salt. I don't need to purchase stuff like Element and stuff, because I can make all of my own electrolytes here at home. I mean, if somebody were to send me Element, I would definitely try it out and tell people what I thought of it, because I'm not against the stuff. It's just I can't just afford to buy random stuff right now. It's just the funds just aren't there. Let's see. Kian Mandela saying hi. Hello, I'm Big John from Anchorage, Alaska. I'm waving right back at you there. Northern Stitcher, they are the brown butter bites that I make. Those sound delicious. I mean, I would love to try those. I'd probably screw them up if I did. So I'm guessing if I ever try to make those, I might as well do it on a live stream just to show everybody how I screw stuff up. Oh no, Northern Stitcher said so easy to make. I can mess up a good thing. Trust me, I do it all the time. If there's a way to screw something up, I can figure it out. I mean, hopefully I'm not ruining my burgers today, because I really want these burgers to come out good, because I am hungry. All right. very low temperature. Just checking on them because I'm not, like I said, I haven't cooked these burgers in this pan before like this. So I'm just trying something new. And if I'm going to screw it up, I might as well screw it up with you guys, okay? I mean, this is part of the fun. There's plenty of red coming out. I don't want to squish them too much. Now, something else I do, since my house is on a slant, or maybe it's my stove or my oven, I might need to jack up the back. Once in a while, I just like to take the pan and spin it around. That way all the juices will start flowing the other way. Yeah, silly little tricks. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever purchased a cast iron pan before and you're used to using traditional pans, I think we've all done this, is we grab that dang handle. I mean, before we get like an oven mitt on or something like that. And this one here has this nice little thing that the wife bought that just covers the handle, keeps our hands safe. But as you can see, it's discolored here. That's just from the use. I mean, because these pans get so hot. That's one thing I love about them. And the other thing is, if they're so versatile, if you need to go out of the house, you go on a camping trip, yeah, take them along with you. They work amazing. On camping trips, they're super easy to clean. Season. All you need is a little bit of fat. You just heat them up, season them up, good to go. And when I've been out in the field with cast iron and I didn't have any good way to clean it, I would usually try to find some sort of sand, like not rocks, but I'd find sand and I'd put sand in there and I'd just rub it all around, get everything cleaned off, and then I'd re-season it with whatever fats I had available. So yeah, I might have to go shoot a squirrel or something like that. Squeeze the fats out of that squirrel, get the pan seasoned up. Let's see, what do you do for a living? I am a truck driver up here in Alaska. So right now we're transitioning in between summer and spring, and it takes a while. We still got a lot of snow on the ground. This morning was like 30 something degrees, and then the sun up there is doing a weird thing lately. It's just so hot, but the ground's cold. We got snow on the mountains still, and it's going to take a while. Probably until the end of April for all this snow to be completely gone and hopefully dried up a little bit around here. But I haul snow for a living in the wintertime. And in the summertime, I haul gravel, or I haul just general goods and box van type trailers or flatbeds or whatever. I've done a little bit of everything up here in Alaska. I even hauled long combination doubles, which 245-foot trailers, attached end to end. It's pretty long. Pretty neat to look at. Amber says, bye, Chris. Oh, hey, thanks, Chris, for dropping in. I do appreciate you. I appreciate his content, too. I like watching his stuff. Even though it doesn't pop up in my feed, I always have to go find him. Let's see. Good to see you doing well, my friend. I am. I'm doing really well. This weight loss journey and this carnivore journey, everything about it, it's been a blessing. I mean, I can't thank God enough for bringing me down this road, because I didn't know where I was going, before I started losing weight. I was just a big fat 430-pound guy just laying in bed, horribly depressed, just praying for God to take me in my sleep. And then all of a sudden he's like slapped me upside the head and said no. So I started learning about fasting techniques and stuff like that. That's how I got started. And in the meantime, I was already making YouTube videos, so why not? I just started, I'll just talk about my weight loss and hopefully that'll work. And that was what led me down this road this far. Because I've been posting these videos for over 47 weeks, talking about my weight loss, talking about the health benefits of carnivore. And I don't talk strictly about 100% carnivore all the time, because there's so many beneficial ways to be low carb and lose weight. You don't have to be 100% carnivore to lose weight. And there's like the keto diet. It's amazing. Get rid of the carbs. But the problem I had with keto is it got confusing, especially when purchasing keto-friendly products and stuff like that. I didn't want to over-science the diet, was my thing. So I could have totally sat there and learned everything there is to know about ketogenic-friendly food, but I was like, man, there's got to be a simpler way. And that led me towards more of a KetoVore type lifestyle for a period of time. And then I noticed I was having a lot of improvements with a KetoVore type lifestyle, because I was eating 90% meats and fats, and the other 10% was hopefully on a ketogenic type plane. And then I was like, man, I'm having so many benefits doing it this way. I'm talking to so many people in the community that are having huge benefits on the carnivore diet with being more strict. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if I could try to make that more strict. Would I get further benefits? Would I get better, brain function and stuff like that? Because so far everything has been improving rapidly. The more that I just keep implementing and keep transitioning further along into this type way of eating. Let's see here. This Chris Amber, thanks. All right, let's see. Nashville, such a great channel. Yes, Chris Cook in Nashville, absolutely great channel for KetoVore, carnivore type eating, keto type eating, anything on that topic. He's the guy to go to. He's got so many recipes available on his channel. He keeps it real, and he just tries to be like me. He just tries to stay honest, or I try to be like him. I don't care which way you want to spin that, but yeah, we both share the same goal. We're both sharing a similar journey, and that's probably why we get along so well. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing stuff. But back to the one lady that was talking about how she was having the epic blowout of poop. Well, she was adding a lot of butter, frothy butter, into her coffee, and she's like on week 35. So that's like the perfect storm. I mean, if you want to have a diarrhea type experience, that's a great way to start your morning, especially when you're transitioning. So when you're transitioning from any lifestyle, from the SAD diet into a more strict type lifestyle of eating healthier whole foods, single ingredient foods, you got to get your fats, to protein ratio, or if you're doing a vegetable diet, you got to get your fats to fiber ratio and all that. You got to get that science figured out, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And that's usually where people start hopping off the wagon. They're like, oh, this is too hard. This is frustrating. I don't know how many times I hear the word can't. It's like, I can't do that. I can't give up my coffee, or I can't, something. There's always a can't in there. It's like, why do we create all these excuses? Since I started this, I focused on everything that I said can't about. That was one of the things that I was working on. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that was my negative way of thinking. And once I got over those hurdles and I got over those humps, everything started improving dramatically fast. I mean, anybody can do this. This isn't anything new. I mean, if you're struggling in life, struggling to learn, struggling to have be able to remember things, if you're forgetful, it's because of the sugar. Just slow down your intake of sugar, and everything's going to improve. Yeah, I wish these burgers would hurry up because I'm starving. This is like that in-between moment where I kind of want to turn up the temperature to get them done quicker, but at the same time, I don't want to ruin them. But they look like they're coming along. I think the internal temperature, if I were to guess, is probably right around 120, maybe not even that much. So you can see a lot of the fats coming out. Everything is looking great in there. Yeah, these are going to be super delicious, super juicy by the time they're done. Now, I'm pretty sure they're not even close yet, so we're not even going to stick a probe on them yet. But as soon as they get close, we're going to. And this is the beginning part of my video. I was talking about my dog. Now, my flat tire dog. Now, this is the dog I call my flat tire dog. She's about 100 and something years old in dog years, and this poor thing would not make the walk to my kid's school this morning, and I was kind of emotional on the way home because it was almost like I had to drag her home, and she's a big dog. I couldn't carry her. It wouldn't be comfortable for her if I carried her home. But we got about halfway there, which is almost a half a mile there to the stairs, and we got to walk up this flight of stairs and go up a hill and stuff like that. But she got up like 3 or 4 stairs, and that was it. She couldn't go up any further, so I had to slowly turn around and bring her back down the steps. It was a horrible day. It was nice to get out with her and go for a walk. I fear that she's not going to be with us a whole lot longer, and it's something my whole family's been struggling with. Oh, I got sardine burps. I had sardines this morning. I also had a can of smoked oysters. If anybody else is out there doing live streams or anything like that, you want to gain some faster, quicker thinking, sardines. If you're getting ready to do like a big meeting or something like that, yeah, take a can of sardines, consume those, preferably in water or olive oil. You don't want to have the soybean oil or anything like that because that'll bog you down. But yeah, some sardines will just It's like taking a multivitamin. Those things are powerful. They make me a chatterbox. They also make me very attentive to anything that's, you know, being talked about or coming in. That way I can retain all this energy and all this emotion. I can retain all this information people are throwing at me. I mean, super, super helpful tool if you didn't know about that. Yeah, Amber. Yeah, she's a good dog. I'm gonna miss her when she goes. Now, he had another dog, Marley. I got his picture over there on the wall. He passed away, but pretty much all the dogs, all the pups came from this mom right here, and they all passed away early. They had issues and stuff like that, and like I think she's the only one left surviving all of her pups. A lot of the puppies died before they even got old enough to get a new home. But yeah, we took care of Marley for quite some time, and he was a huge golden retriever type lab dog, just absolutely enormous. And when he passed away, it was tough. It was tough on the whole family. I mean, if anybody knows that has a family pet, why is it harder when you're an adult, when your animals pass away, especially cats? You know, I had a friend talk to me about, you know, cats passing away and why it's so hard on us, because cats take so much of us with them. They're there for everything. They see everything. They see our good moments, our naughty moments, our bad moments. You know, they just pop up and they have this like hoot owl, you know, cute, adorable look in their face. And it's just like, wow, weird. But anyways, back to the carnivore stuff, because that's kind of what we're doing here. We're talking about carnivore. We're talking about weight loss. We're talking about anything that anybody might need to hopefully get their weight loss journey started. And that's mainly what we're discussing. So we got 17 likes, 17 people in the stream. I appreciate you guys. If you've smashed that like button already, that's extremely helpful to help us, you know, get our stuff out there. But I need to get up and get on these burgers because I'm hungry. Okay. I wonder if we go from this side, if that's any better. Probably not. I don't know. We'll try that. Okay. Ooh. Ow, that lid's hot. It got me on the thumbers right there. Got to be getting close. These burgers look really, really fat and happy. Whoa, I'm going to make a mess. Look at me go. We are not a cooking channel, but I like to cook a lot of stuff. And I like a lot of salt. We're going to turn on the handy dandy thermometer. All right. Now I got an alarm set for 160, so when the internal temp gets up to 160, it goes off. It just kind of lets me know, like, yeah, that's where you need to be. So, give you guys a little show here. There's supposed to be a backlight. There it is. Oh, look at that. I figured out something. It's all button. Yeah, we are definitely way off temp there. 140. Yep, kind of slowing down there. 141. It's going to be a very slow climb. And we still got a little bit of red juice popping out. Same story there. We are not done all the way around. Okay. That is just fine. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. And this is usually where I screw this up, as I start turning the heat up. And yeah, I usually wind up cooking it too fast, or the pan loses so much moisture. I'm not sure where to move these to. If I only had a level house. One of these days I will get busy and actually level up my stove, just so I don't have that. And I did that with my washer and dryer. I leveled it out, and that took a while. That was a lot of pushing it in and pulling it back out, because these trailer homes they're never stable. They're always moving. In the summertime, in the wintertime, these trailers move around a lot. Anyways, all right, we got 28 people in here. You guys aren't asking any questions today. It's really slow. Like, nobody's talking. We got Amber in here. I appreciate you, Amber. I can scroll back through here, see if I missed anything. Somebody asked what I did for a living. All right. Not a whole lot going on there. All right. That's okay. Not a big deal. So I have another channel. that I was talking to a friend about, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I'm not sure what I want to do with that. Now the channel name is called Free the Sheep, and originally I was using it to take all of my shopping content, my Alaska shopping content, and I moved it over there. And I haven't done anything with the channel. I just got it set up. I use it for a preview channel. That way I can come in and, preview from a third person, like what my stuff looks like. And if I need to make any adjustments, or if my links are clickable, from a third party, because we put affiliate links in, we put other links in for this or that, Amazon wish lists and stuff like that. So that's the account I use to make sure everything's working and still valid. But I don't know what type of content I want to put on there, because I used to like doing the shopping videos, but those took a lot of energy to do, even on a good day, because you got to get out, you got to actually get into the store, show people around the store, make it interesting, show some prices. I used to focus on a lot of the shortages, some of the prepping type items, stuff that I was actually buying at that time, because when I started doing it, we were coming out the tail end of the pandemic, and we were having a ton of shortages up here in Alaska. And most of that revolves around the shipping lanes. So if the stuff's not coming up the Alcan, the stuff is, coming up on a boat or on an airplane. Air freight is extremely expensive up here, by the way. Let your intrusive thoughts win. Okay. I'm trying Blaz. That's an interesting handle there. Appreciate you dropping in, though. It's always nice to have people comment in here. I mean, I really don't mind the spammers. They just come in and say what they want, and then, I got people that remove the stuff if it's too much nonsense. But I handle spam extremely well. Dude looks like had led a vicious community in The Walking Dead. Hey, Donna, I appreciate you dropping in, Donna. Today, I made an announcement earlier about me and Todd at Carnivore Cure. We're going to be starting a fast on Tuesday at 11, and it's going to go approximately 84 hours. So on Saturday morning at about 6 a.m. is when the fast is going to be over, and we're going to stay connected on the fast through a fasting app that he hooked me up with last night. And I actually I couldn't find the circle of people that were in this particular fast, so he had to send me an invitation link to be a part of the group. That way we can see each other's progress or whatever we enter in. And it also keeps track of our fasting time and stuff like that. I'll probably be talking about that in next weekend's update video. I hear some noise coming out of my pan over here. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that looks good. I like it when it looks good. Okay, we're gonna try something different here, because I do have a light here. So if I get you guys set up in a little different way, you might actually be able to see what I'm doing. Maybe, I don't know. Is that okay? Oof, wow, look at that. Yeah, buddy. And I am hungry. That's why I started this live stream in the first place. I figured if I'm gonna cook, I might as well have a discussion with all you guys at the same time, hang out, do whatever we do, maybe answer some questions if anybody has questions. And then right now we're going to be checking the temperature on here and see what happens. I wonder how that looks, because I got the light on the camera. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, we're getting closer. 45, 48. Oh yeah, we're getting up closer now. 52. I could actually shut the heat off on this cast iron and it will come up the rest of the way. That might be good to go right there. Okay, yeah. Gonna shut that off. We're looking for a temp of 160 on this side. I don't know why that side jumped up over there. But yeah, we're pretty close. We're close enough. Okay. We're going to call these burgers done. How about that? And I like to give them a good little roll around so I get the juices on there. Get them on my plate. And I have tried to eliminate cheese out of my diet. Like last week, I got into the cheese a little bit. That seemed to be a problem. That slowed me down. Also, the chicken wings slowed my weight loss down. So now I got them all coated up, ready to go. We're gonna let that pan cool off, and then I'll let the dog have it here in a little while. But I like to put a little bit of extra salt on these burgers. And the only thing extra that I like to use, I mean, spin you guys around the room, take a look at the dog. Woo. Let's see, what do we got in here? We got a whole lot of junk. This right here, this stuff, this Tabasco. So there's not a whole lot of sugar in that I need to worry about. There is a tiny little amount of sugar in this. This is Tabasco Sriracha. Now, the reason I'm not worried about the sugar in here is because I'm not drowning this in this sauce. I'm just using the sauce to give me that nice little hot sauce flavor. And it's far more healthy than those little packets of sauce you might get from like Taco Bell or McDonald's or wherever. Those sauces contain all kinds of stuff that I never realized. And we got Tupperwares full of those sauces. It was something we started collecting through the pandemic because, you know, we just didn't know any better. I think a lot of my bad health came from the pandemic in general because, I mean, I was already morbidly obese before the pandemic started. Everything got out of control. You know, once the pandemic got really going and, you know, we were all stuck at home, you know, trying to figure out, you know, what's best for us and stuff like that. And then everybody was also stockpiling food, which there's nothing wrong with that. People here in Alaska have been stockpiling food since forever because you never know what's going to happen next. We have earthquakes. We have all kinds of weird situations that happen up here. So having a good food supply, having a good meat storage and stuff like that is extremely important up here. But we got off on the wrong track. We started buying all kinds of crap food. I mean, we were looking for shelf-stable items, stuff that were in boxes. All of that was overly processed food. Now, the problem I had with all that is I was eating that stuff all the time. Super unhealthy, eating it over and over and over again. And my weight got really bad. It got way out of control. I mean, my sleep apnea got really horrible. I had to go out and get a CPAP through all of it. And then trying to get a sleep study in the middle of a pandemic. Well, that stunk. That was horrible. Oh, super juicy. It was a little bit more difficult to cook in that particular cast iron than it was the other pan that I just threw away. But yeah, if you have a meat thermometer and you cook your burger patties even from frozen on extremely low heat, they come out incredibly tender, incredibly juicy, just amazing quality. And you don't need to overdo like any of the sauce. I mean, I just drizzled the sauce on top of this. It's just that Tabasco Sriracha sauce, which really isn't bad. I do like the taste of almost all Tabasco products, by the way. My favorite is the habanero Tabasco sauce. It has a nice habanero pepper. To me, just has kind of a sweet flavor to it. So it, you know, habaneros and mangoes and pineapples and stuff like that they kind of complement themselves. And when I used to make stuff in the past, yeah, good stuff here. Elvis says OP. Oop. Not sure what that means, but okay. It's all good there. I'm seeing all these new buttons on here that weren't here before. And like I said, like these vertical lives that came out, for a lot of us, we don't know what all this stuff does. And so I'm going to mess around here. I'm going to touch this button over here and see what happens. Hopefully nothing bad. Highlight, save to your channel. I don't even know what that means. I mean, like I said, there's stuff on here that we just don't know. We don't understand. Let's see. What does this do? Oh, weird. I have filters. I don't know if I would want to use any of these filters. But who knows? Let me try that one. No, that doesn't. No, definitely not. This is horrible. Look at this stuff. Okay. I think I was better off with normal. Okay, yeah, that makes me normal. Weird. Yeah, weird settings. We'll just choose that. And I'm not sure what this button does either. Oh, okay. That's a chat button. Let's see. Top chat, live chat, all messages are visible. Super chat members. I do have super chats turned on. I can shut the chats off too. Okay, Very nice. How do I get that off of there? I don't know. Like I said, all new. And then I'm not sure what this button down here does. We're just learning together. Start a poll. No, I don't like it when I see polls on these things, so I'm not going to put you guys through that. And then this one here, oh, I got a share button. That's not bad. I mean, I don't mind that. I could actually share this to my Facebook page, I guess. I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to look into that, see what goes on there. But yeah, this week we're going to be starting a fast on Tuesday, and then we're going to fast until Saturday morning. And yeah, I'm still stuck a little bit above 300 pounds. So yeah, I'm hoping to just fix that. But I also have to be realistic, because even when I've done extreme fasting, and I've done a lot of extreme fasting in the last 46 weeks, I am up for a lot of different fasting challenges. I typically don't go more than 7 days or any type of fast. Doesn't matter if it's a fast with food, a fast without food, stuff like that. How often are you fasting? Well, one thing I've been doing here, Amber, lately is I'll do, let's say I'll do a fast like this week here. I'm starting my fast on Tuesday. We're going to do it for 84 hours until Saturday. And then I'm going to get my results like I do every Saturday and hopefully get them out to you over the weekend. And then the week after that will be a maintenance type week. So I found from my own experience when fasting over and over again, that it kind of shifts the body into weird type gears to where it just might say, nope, you're not going to be losing weight for a long time. And the next fast you're going to try, you're going to get you're just going to be frustrated at the end of the fast. So if I actually, spread them out over a period of time and do a maintenance type week in between, and you're going to gain a little bit of weight back after an extreme fast. And that's where the mindset comes in, because before I used to get upset, and I see, I lost 15 pounds and then all of a sudden I gained 5 of that back, pretty quickly. And I'm all butt hurt. And I'm it's not good for the psyche. It's not good for your thought process. But once you start doing it enough and realize that it's normal, it kind of works out pretty good that way. I figure out how to get this thing off my screen because it's blocking Eunice's comment. Eunice Henderson, body goes into, you are starving me, so no weight loss. Yes, that's an aspect too of fasting. And that's why being mentally prepared before you start a fasting process, you're doing it deliberately. You're getting the mindset for basic expectations throughout your fasting process. Like you're fasting to lose weight, you're fasting to fix gut health. I could be fasting to fix my metabolism. That was a big piece. I bit off too much. I bit off more than I can chew. I tweaked my macros and the stall stuff. Awesome, Mona. That's great news. And now I'm losing weight again. That's good news. Losing weight is good news, but it's not the end all. What you're looking for, even when you're fasting, is you're looking for overall health benefits, even more so than weight loss. Now, I understand we hyper focus on losing weight. That's not the most important aspect to regaining our health. I can stay perfectly healthy at 300 pounds. I've done it. I've been considered the healthiest morbidly obese man, according to my doctors, for many years. So it is possible to be extremely healthy, have good blood pressure, have good blood work and all that. So, because I've done it. But if we focus on our overall health benefits, healing some of the previous damage we've done over the years, while eating all the garbage food that we just blindly went into, a lot of us did, because the majority of people that are in the situation that I'm in right now, we're all in between a specific age range. I've said this many times, between 35 years old to 80 years old. And it's like a great awakening. We realize that we pissed away so much of our life and we just want some of that back. So yeah, when we get to a certain point, we're just like, man, I want to feel healthy again. I'm tired of feeling like garbage. It really sucks when you feel like trash all the time. And then you're going out again tomorrow and you're going back to Taco Bell and you feel like trash again. And you're just always like, I don't know why I'm in such a bad mood. I don't know why I'm so upset and so emotional all the time. Because when you feel like crap, you're not even thinking about that stuff. But as soon as you get rid of it all and you start feeling healthy again, you can look back at it and kind of laugh. And that's something I've been talking about with some of these other carnivores. It's like, man, we do, this is why I documented this entire journey from when I started my weight loss journey up until now. So 47 weeks of it. It's because we have something called amnesia, weight loss amnesia, carnivore amnesia, is we tend to forget where our journey started. So it makes it a little bit harder to relate as we get further along into it, because now I'm down to close to 300 pounds. I'm really not thinking about the mindset of somebody at 435 pounds or somebody heavier than 435 pounds. Because when I was 435, I could totally, wrap a conversation around all of that. But since I've been going along and lost so much weight, I have to think back. I have to sometimes go back through my older videos, and some of them are horrible, by the way, and they make me cry because I was in such a bad situation. But I was trying, which is a lot better than not trying and not doing anything and making some effort. Sometimes little bitty effort, a little bit of effort, it goes a long way. 75 days in. Cheeseburgers are great. No cheese on these today. But yeah, Mona, that's what's super important about these communities here, is that we all support one another. Mona, I can't see your image because it's so tiny on my phone. I was dirty keto for 6 years, and that was no good. Well, dirty keto is better than no keto. I mean, at least you were on the right track. I mean, it's not an end all either. It's just depending on what your end goals are. What type of keto or what type of weight loss journey you're on. Because some people are just in it to get fit or look fit. Because sometimes I've seen a lot of people look extremely fit and extremely healthy and be really unhealthy. I mean, just some of the stuff they're eating, and they don't even recognize it because they're still playing the game with sugar. They're playing Russian roulette with sugar, and they're adding the sugar, and they're like, I'm super fit, I'm super great, and I'm like, yeah, and you're not thinking correctly either. That scares me. That makes me not want to put you in charge of a project type, not thinking correctly. Because when I was younger, I used to say the same thing. I was young, invincible. I can do anything. I can eat anything. It doesn't matter what I eat. And then all of a sudden comes the day where you suddenly realize that all of that thought process of I can do anything, I can eat anything, I can eat what I want, when I want, and nothing's going to happen to me. It all catches up with you. And then you realize I got a whole bunch of underlying issues now because of all that crap that I had before. Yeah, great. So yeah, my best advice for anybody starting like a carnivore diet is like go out and buy either 70-30 or 80-20 burger meat. Get started that way. Figure out your own way to cook it the way you like it. Now, I don't suggest always cooking your burger meat on a grill because you lose the majority of the fat when you're cooking on a grill. This is why I like to pan fry my burger meat and burger patties, because it retains a lot of the fats and stuff that I use, and I use the fats for fuel. My body's not storing the fat. I'm not packing it on. It's not turning into insulin like some people claim. I actually burn the fat as fuel throughout the week because my body's in a perpetual state of, somewhat of in ketosis. So I'm not worried about it. My cholesterol levels are fine. My blood work's fine. My blood pressure is amazing. And I still eat bacon. I love to eat eggs. Now, eggs tend to boost eggs will balance out your hormones, even for men. Testosterone, it's hormone. We need it. Now, I've eaten so many eggs and had tremendous benefit, also had tremendous weight loss with eating eggs. So one of my favorite fasting diets that includes food is an egg fasting diet. And I only do it for a period of 5 to 7 days maximum, because then you need to actually replenish some other nutrients that you don't get from eggs, but you can find, the balance in other red meats and stuff like that. So I'll implement a whole week full of eggs. I'll get the benefits of the weight loss and everything there, and then I'll try to maintain it with regular red meat and fats. All right. I'm having steak tips for supper tonight. I'm jealous. Now I do have a big Costco sirloin chunk in there. I think it's sirloin. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to break it out. But I think I'm going to let it sit for the rest of this week, and I'll break it out next week. I don't know the first thing about carving up meat. Like I said, I didn't do this stuff, before. I didn't know anything about the fat content in meat until I started carnivore, and I started talking to people and realized that you don't want like 95 and 5% fat. That's not what you're looking for. I think that's where I screwed up in the beginning. I bought some ridiculous amount of ground beef at one of the butchers here, and I got the wrong fat content. It was either 90-10 or 95-5 or something like that. Didn't have enough fat. I had all kinds of problems eating that. So I was trying to figure out that situation and figure out the amount of fats I needed to add just to eat that. So I was adding in like bacon grease. I was adding in a lot of butter. And with the 80-20 just works. I mean, it works good for me. It doesn't work for everybody. That's why there's different types of, burger meat that work for other people. Like 70-30 works for a lot of people I know. Let's see what else we got here. Fry them in a pan with bacon grease. Yes, absolutely. That's what I did with these. Is I added some bacon grease. But I was also cooking in a different cast iron pan today, and I wasn't sure how this was going to work out because I didn't want to burn them, because I know a regular black cast iron pan, you can scald the heck out of these burgers really quickly, and I didn't want to ruin them. Yeah, I thought at first that Mona might have been one of my ex-coworkers that I used to work with here, because I know she follows that channel too. She's a Samoan lady, real nice. But I don't know what her YouTube handle is, and I don't know if she's ever even commented on any of these threads. And chances are she's probably at work right now, so probably not, unless she's on break. How's life in NA? What is NA? I don't know where NA. North America? Is that what you're saying? Right now it's sunny. It's beautiful outside. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska, by the way, if you didn't know. How much weight have you lost now? Why, you look good. Hey, thank you. Let's see. Right now, I'm down approximately 130 to 135 pounds of weight lost. And that goes back and forth. I mean, it's just normal weight loss journey. That's kind of how these things go. So, one day one way, one day the other way. Mona says she's in Texas. Right on. I love Texas when I was down there. I used to go in and out of Laredo a lot. I made a mistake once when I was delivering a load and I actually drove through into Mexico and delivered the load in Mexico, and trying to get my truck and trailer back across the border was turned into a science project. I mean, I spent about 3 days on the wrong side of the border. Now I could get out of my truck and walk across the border and go back to my terminal, or spend the night on the other side of the border, but then I had to come back and do a whole bunch of processing just to get my truck back into the United States, and they didn't want to let it back in, so that was a mess. Yes, Alaska is part of Northern America, although we do try to separate ourselves from down there, because especially those in California, they like to move up here, and then they bring the politics with them, and they try to change Alaska. They try to make Alaska more like California, which is the place they left in the first place. I mean, my best advice for anybody that moves out of a state that's horrible, don't bring the nonsense with you, because we don't want it either. So, and since a lot of them have moved up here, yeah, it's kind of ruined a lot of things about this state. Anchorage, Alaska is not the place it was, 15, 20 years ago. It's totally different now. We have so many homeless people wandering around here, and our government, they want all this money, but they don't want to do anything. They just want to, they seem to be very opportunist up here. They like to buy up all the commercial property when they get a chance, because, after the pandemic, the rent prices went up. A lot of people went out of business. So a lot of the politicians just started buying up all these businesses, old businesses. Now they're turning them into very expensive rental properties or very expensive motels. And they're doing the exact opposite of what I believe they should be doing. But I don't have that kind of money, so I don't know how I would think Okay, let's see. Same thing happening in Texas. Austin has been ruined for 20 years. Oh, that's horrible, Eunice, because I used to enjoy going to Austin. That was one of my more favorite places to go. I still can't remember the name of that town where I saw that tornado. It was on the western side. Amarillo, Texas. That's where it was. I was at Amarillo, Texas at the truck stop. I was at a friend's house that was just up a ways north of the interstate. And I saw a tornado coming across. I mean, it was a little tiny thing. It wasn't a dust devil. It was an actual tornado. But it was just, and we were just sitting on the porch. It's like, oh yeah, watch a couple of these come by every year. And it was fun to watch. But I've been stuck in tornadoes. My son almost died in a tornado in Joplin, Missouri when that one hit. It ran through the Walmart. Now that tornado was so bad that it picked up my ex's. I think she had a Dodge Durango. It picked the Durango up and it slammed it to the ground. And she sent me a picture because she was all bummed out, that her car got smashed. And I'm like, well, are you guys all right? And she was all upset about the car. She was just more worried about the car than anything than the kids or anything. I was disappointed in her. But that was why I was living in Alaska and she was in Missouri. Let's see. I'm 100% Texan. I like it down there. Now, I don't think I would live down there because it's a little too hot for me. Same thing happened in Greenland. Danes buying up businesses, houses, apartments, complexes, hire cheap labor. Yeah, that's pretty much it all over the globe. It seems like all around the world we're getting hammered with all these people that are becoming, and it's usually the politicians. They figured out a way to become extremely wealthy, and they just buy up all the resources that the average person could actually have bought in the past. And now we can't really get a foothold even on our basic savings account these days. Although in everyone's defense, Florida was a hot mess before. Boy, I did not like Florida. I like visiting Florida. I like going down to Key West and delivering loads down there. Now, the funny thing is I used to go to Pfizer all the time. I was one of their main drivers that they relied on when I got there because I was an owner operator and I could just zoom right on in, pick up a load, and then boogie it on up to Chicago. So they'd pay me a whole lot of money. Those pharmaceutical companies, they have so much power these days. I mean, they can get things done. They can get, laws and rules bent in their favor, even when it comes to the trucking industry, to get stuff moved around the country. And I did profit, from their business, because I'd show up, I'd scoot in front of everybody that was there, waiting to get loaded. They'd put stuff on me. I'd be out the door and I'd be in Chicago by the next day, coming out of, I think, like Tampa or wherever their warehouse is at. It's down there in Florida somewhere. Let's see, Felix, I think it is happening worldwide. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's disturbing. Now, I have a lot of friends up here in Alaska that have actually moved to places like the Philippines. Some of them have gone to Taiwan. Now, they've gone to like other places that kind of they're a little third worldish. They're not like totally in the dark, but they moved there because the health system and the taxes and the cost of living here in the United States and the food here, it's just unsustainable for them. A lot of them had cancer. Now they've actually reversed their cancer because they're living in these places like the Philippines, Costa Rica, for instance, places that have more whole foods. And, they can eat the fruits and stuff like that and be just fine because the food's not tainted down there. It's not poisoned like it is up here. And for some reason, we think that we can fix everything. We have this mentality, humans should be fixing everything. And we should never let Mother Nature do what it's intended to. So we manipulated the animals. We manipulated the food, the vegetables, specifically the vegetables. We done screwed those up. Yeah, that's right, Eunice. Pricing all regular people out of a house and small business, just one huge conglomerate owning everything. Absolutely. We can thank the United Nations, World Economic Forum for the mass migration and the happening all over the place. Absolutely, Donna. You guys are my people. I mean, you understand me. I'm totally on board. This is the stuff I used to talk about on the when I was discussing like prepping topics and stuff like that. I actually made a boo-boo on YouTube, and I still have a community guidelines strike that it should be up, I believe, May 19th. And I'll make an announcement about that because that guideline strike has been there a long time. And I was literally reiterating a YouTube video that was posted about COVID. And I was talking the exact statements that were in that video, in my own video, and YouTube didn't like that. And yeah, so I got a spanking. I almost got my entire channel deleted, and I was upset. And that put me in a dark depression. I became morbidly obese after that, because I was butthurt. I was already trying to make content and doing stuff that YouTube wanted me to do. I was just following what they were talking about. They said, take a channel that has like 1 million views and try to recreate their content. Well, I did that. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, you said something about COVID the wrong way. And then all of a sudden I was like shadow banned. None of my videos were getting seen at all. It was really frustrating. Let's see. Northern Stitcher, never eat or your loved ones fruit or veggies with a peel or coating. Oh, gotcha. All right. Felix, are you perhaps a teacher or read civics subjects? I don't know. Let's see. Just subbed. I really like the topics you're talking about and seem wise. Well, I appreciate that. Now, I wasn't able to retain information before I started losing the weight, especially before I started the carnivore diet, where I'm eating like 90% meats and fats. Now I'm eating like 98% meats and fats. So this would be like the extra 2% of oddball stuff. And I've been able to retain the information. I've been a whole lot more entertaining. I don't mind hearing my own voice. I don't mind seeing myself on camera. I don't mind being goofy. All of that just melted away. All that anxiety about getting out here, getting on the internet, and actually being the person to hit record and being the one for people to judge. That used to bother me. I used to think, everybody was going to judge me. Nobody would like anything I said. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Just let it all slide off your back. It doesn't matter anymore. Just say what you gotta say. People are either going to like it, love it, or they're going to hate me. And I get it. It's okay. That's why there's 1 million different content creators out here on YouTube discussing similar topics, because what I might say might offend somebody, compared to the same conversation. Somebody might absolutely adore it, but you just never know. Let's see. Donna, the truth has come out big time about the entire COVID thing on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's something I've never gotten into. I've never gotten into Twitter. Now, this new X thing, is that Twitter? Is that the new name for Twitter? Because I keep seeing it as an option for sharing stuff. And I don't like venturing off into these other social media platforms, because most of the time, they're like Facebook is intertwined with things like TikTok and things like Instagram. And I don't like Instagram either, because there's a lot of things on there that don't work for me as a content creator. So I don't like that. Okay, yes, it's now X. I thank you for that. Felix, I have heard about carnivore diet, but never thought of trying it out. I rarely eat. Sometimes I'll be fasting on, it says stick to water and coffee. Oh, I'll be fasting and stick to water and coffee. So I'm quite slim. Yeah. Okay. Now, the problem I had before, it really depends on what you're eating. And that's the reason why a lot of us came to the carnivore diet in the first place, is because over the years, we developed an eating habit, which is a lot of us are binge eaters, or we were just eating the total wrong foods, overly processed foods, a lot of high fructose corn syrup, a lot of deep fried foods. Things were just absolute nonsense. But we just kept eating them and kept eating them, and we knew better. And people kept telling us, you need to stop. And we didn't, because it's near impossible to get through to people that are, severely sugar addicts. I mean, they're horrible. And I remember when I was a sugar addict, I couldn't comprehend near the amount of stuff that I can now. I mean, it's just amazing when you get rid of it all. It just goes away. And then all of a sudden you can like complete tasks without having to think. I mean, I'm thinking like 3 video projects down the road at the same time that I'm talking about this. It's like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do tomorrow? Or if I'm going to do something next week, or what am I going to say in the next 5 minutes? And that's why I love these live streams too, is I get to interact with you guys. It just makes it so much more fun, because you can come in, you can say what you want, and then bail out if you need to, or whatever. X and TikTok are so toxic. Yeah, I got a TikTok account. I just got it just to see what was going on with it, see if it was something I liked or something I didn't like. So far, I haven't really cared. I haven't really been back to the TikTok site. Now, if you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through the reels, now the reels like to put TikToks in there and Instagram reels, and then when you go to try to comment on them, they want you to install the Instagram or TikTok app. And that drives me nuts. It's like, don't provide me a video that I can't comment on your platform and force me to actually, because sometimes you see controversial stuff and you want to chime in on things and you can't. And that's the other thing that drove me nuts about Facebook is you can have people commenting on your own stuff, your own personal stuff, and have you blocked, but other people can see what they're saying and you can't. I didn't like that. I thought that was ridiculous. So I really don't venture over to Facebook much except to, maybe reshare some of my videos. That way, my old high school friends, if they want to keep up with me, they can click on it and, say, hey, how's Big John doing these days? Let's see. Absolutely. I love God. 100%. I don't believe in God, by the way. I know God. That's the important thing. There's a lot of people that believe in things, but they don't actually know. And yeah, I know God exists. I know Jesus exists. I know what I know. Let's see. Amber says, Donna, I agreed with what Elon has done. Let's see. Doctors don't get censored and kicked off Twitter. Yeah, that was disturbing how some people seem to have a free pass when it came to the COVID opinions and topics. Like there seemed to be like this elite group of people that were talking about these subjects. And they were the untouchables. They could say anything they want, even if it was proven to be wrong. They could say it and get away with it. And if you tried to report them for misinformation, usually the shoe turned around and kicked you in the pants instead. So that was a problem. That was definitely a problem. But yeah, what really made me mad was when I made that video about an existing video that had like something like 10 or 20 million views within the first 24 hours. Then all of a sudden I get a threat to get banned. And I was just regurgitating what was already being said with a link to the original video. I'm not going to stress about it too much. It hurt me, kind of screwed me up. I'm only use Reddit to read some civics, anthropology subjects. That's mainly social media I use. Yeah, I rarely venture on over to Reddit, but I have read quite a bit of stuff on Reddit because sometimes when you do a Google search, it'll redirect you to a Reddit page. Doctors were trying to warn about the experimental shots. Now there are some new videos about the shots that are out right now, and I think some of them are incredibly important. People should be paying attention to what's going on in Israel, because they were ones that rolled out a mass vaccination in their countries, and they're having some issues. So, and it's worth looking at. It's everybody needs to come up with their own opinion, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the shots. And I have been double vaccinated. I believe my wife's been double vaccinated. My son has had at least one vaccine, but he's over 17 years old now. And my two younger daughters have not been vaccinated because we just weren't sure. And the reason I got vaccinated is because I was working for the Postal Service, and I figured that was just, everybody was so overly paranoid about what was happening. And I just took the shot, basically to say, I took the shot, now shut up. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. That way, if anybody confronted me, on this, or my mask was on crooked, or my nose was hanging out, I could just say, hey, I took the shot, now go screw. Get away from me. Because I was done too. I was just tired of it all. I was like, why are we all living this life of being uncomfortable, where somebody can just go off the rails and be the most obnoxious person in the room? I did not like that about the pandemic. But I did like the fact that when the pandemic happened, my trip to work was literally like a ghost town. There was nobody here. I mean, everybody was at home. They were all at home. There was no traffic out. So when I got to these traffic lights, I could basically just sit there and look both ways, and I could see nothing for as far as the eye could see in any direction. So I just roll on through the traffic light after I stopped, because it was pointless to sit there, because I was literally sitting there for nothing. There was nobody coming. It was crazy. It was peaceful. It was a peaceful kind of crazy. Donna, yes, I mean anti-vax, but I am okay. Butter dog. I must have missed a comment there. They move pretty quickly. Let's see. Now those that have gotten those shots are suffering from huge clots. They are seeing this in funeral homes too. Now I have seen reports of that, but you have to take stuff like that type of reporting. You have to take it with a grain of salt. And I did look into that when I saw that happening. And it wasn't happening on the scale of being concerned. So, I mean, it was one of those things where I just couldn't, there wasn't enough information around it to actually form a really good opinion. It was a reactionary type piece, and I do remember when it came out. Yes, I didn't get vaccinated and haven't really got sick, maybe 3 times a year. Since I started carnivore, almost never sick. I mean, really, it's been a beautiful thing. Before when I was really bad, I was eating like crap. I was eating pizza and sugar and sodas and drinking alcohol. I had a rundown system. I was afraid of my kids. When they would come home from school. I didn't want to cuddle them or anything, because I thought for sure they were going to get me sick. I didn't want to go to school events. So now I'm more likely to go to a school event for my children, which is super important when you're a father. You need to be there for your children. I mean, I went to one of my son's events not too long ago. That's a change. That's part of my anxiety, getting over a lot of my anxiety from being in social aspects, especially when it comes to being around other people like kids and stuff like that. Because I used to think kids were just 100% germs. I mean, I couldn't stand being around the kids. Let's see. None of my family is vaccinated. Nurse in our own family said, do not. So we didn't. I don't really see a problem either way yet, but, like I said, time will tell. I mean, I haven't had any adverse reactions to it since I took the shot. Now, when I did take the shot, both times, I was horribly sick. I don't know why I went and got the second one, because maybe I got it just out of curiosity, to see like, all right, is this really going to make me as sick as it did the first time around? Was that just a fluke? And it did. I was sick for a minimum of 3 days. Like, nope, I ain't doing nothing. Didn't want to do anything. I was feeling like crap. Now I had a laundry list of all the side effects. I mean, it was horrible. So I don't know. I got somebody at my door. I gotta go see what this person wants. So yeah, bear with me. Strange people coming up to my door. Nobody ever comes up to my door. Hey, how you doing?
I have a question. Do you know where's 10J?
Oh, I don't know. The numbers here are so jumbled up. The best thing to do would be to go to the trailer park office down the road.
Where is it?
Go to the stop sign this way,
Yes.
and then turn down that, and it's the big building in the middle on the left. And there'll be an open sign out there by the door.
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
Whoa, that was random. Yeah, we don't normally ever get anybody coming to the door here. If you don't know anything about Alaskans like their privacy. They don't like people just coming by. I mean, even good friends don't like it when good friends just kind of swing on through kind of stuff. And that was just a random person that couldn't figure out where she was going. Innocent enough, thank goodness. But yeah, this is usually how, in a normal situation, when something like that happens, it's usually somebody scoping out your yard, or they're looking for stuff. And then, they notice you, sitting at the kitchen table, and they look through the window. So then they make up a story that wasn't that. But it's happened here before, where people have come up and they just want to see what you got in your entryway. And they just act all innocent. And then they come back later on in the dark and take everything you have, because that's what they do. Let's see. Essential shorts for you. It's me, Barbara. Okay, Felix Koff. My father is turning 62 on October. He often gets sick and feels depressed on and off. Yeah, that was a problem. When, before I started the carnivore diet, I did not handle my anxiety. I did not handle my depression well. And since I got further along into the carnivore diet, a lot of that has melted away. I've been able to get out in public. I've been able to do things. I've been able to speak in front of crowds of people, and something I was never able to do in my entire life, by the way. I mean, occasionally I would have a hard time in company meetings, just chiming in my own opinion about certain things that either bugged me or things that needed to be discussed. Learning how to train people with medical equipment and devices and stuff like that was a struggle right away. But since I was passionate about helping people, just like what I do here on YouTube, is I'm just passionate about helping people. It made it a lot more easier. And since I started Carnivore, I've been able to actually learn how to communicate and talk with people in a more sociable environment type of way. Doing these interactions with these live streams, for instance, it's just jumped me ahead, for other things I might want to do in life, because I don't think I want to be a truck driver for the rest of my life. I mean, I want to find something else to do. I want to find something else that's going to make me money, and hopefully help people, because that's the ultimate goal. Even as a truck driver, I don't look at it like going to a job. I look at it like I'm helping out. I'm helping build the community here, because as a dump truck driver, that's what we're doing. Even if you're hauling freight, you're helping people get their supplies. Somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to be good at it. So that's the way I look at it. Let's see. Amber, Felix and I are off antidepressants. Oh, congratulations, Amber. I hope that is going good for you. Yeah, that's Amber saying that. She's off of antidepressants since she's been on carnivore. Congratulations. Now, I have heard that quite a bit. There's a lot of other carnivores out there, talking about how they don't need the pills anymore. In fact, they still hold on to their pills. Like Kerry at Carnivore Cure, he's one of them. He always walks around with a big thing of pills, to show everybody. Because that's a huge thing. That also helps remind himself, where he was, when he was eating his previous way. That's awesome. Anchorage, Alaska, there, Lambro. That's where I'm at, Anchorage, Alaska. Let's see. Nice, Amber. Happy for you. Essential shorts for you. Thank you, Amber. Is shy, ashamed of myself, but I am trying the best to become a new person. Well, that all comes in time with health and nutrition. I mean, I hear a lot of people, even on these CPAP pages, they talk about all these little issues that they have, medically. And, since I've been going down this path of better health and nutrition, I'm realizing that almost 98% of our problems is from the food we put in our mouths. It's from the ingredients we might smother on top of our foods, because young children, you feed them anything, it's like they have to have a condiment now of some sort. You feed them waffles, you feed them pancake, or even eggs, they gotta drown it in syrup, they gotta put it, drown them in ketchup, they gotta drown it in ranch dressing. It's just nonstop condiments. And then if the condiments aren't healthy for us, it doesn't matter if the food's healthy for us if we're just ruining it. Because I don't know about you guys, when I was eating salads, I was ruining it with all the salad dressings and all the extra weird stuff I was putting on there, the highly processed bacon bits that weren't even real bacon. I mean, that type of stuff, it was really screwing me up. Well, thank God it's not a basketball person. No, not a basketball person at all. I used to have a hard time playing basketball. It wasn't a good day for me either, because I was always getting in trouble for double dribbling and traveling. That was a big thing. Okay, essential. It cannot be difficult. Shame is common feeling among us who are overweight. You are not alone. Not sure that common feeling you're talking about. I might have missed something there. Seems like it's worth. Okay, I'll try to talk to my father about carnivore diet. Well, Felix, there's other options. Okay, you don't have to recommend 100% carnivore. You can also recommend stuff like keto, KetoVore, low carb, no carb. We'll fix a lot of the anxiety issues for most people. So, and some people do well with one over the other, but eliminating a lot of the carbs and sugars fixes a lot of the depression issues, the anxiety issues, social disorders. Now there's even reports out there that people with schizophrenia and epilepsy, I believe, was one of them on the topics of things that were improved with a ketogenic type diet. And that was in a recent update, on a news discussion that was just put out here within the last week. So, like I said earlier in the live stream, that these people, these news sources, they're not going to miss the boat on this low carb, no carb lifestyle. They're going to jump right on there, and they're definitely going to sit there and wait until something bad happens. Now, things like Ozempic, for instance, I'm surprised they're not all over Ozempic for all the bad that's been coming out of there. But Ozempic is a big deal. There's a lot of famous people out there just dying. They're tripping over themselves to spend that, $1,500-$1,600 just to get a shot of Ozempic so they don't have to go to the gym and exercise. I mean, Ozempic's going to turn around on us, just like all the other weight loss drugs that have ever been out there. It's going to turn around on those people, and there's going to be a lot of problems. I mean, just wait. Just give it some time. It's coming. Preparing some food while listening to your stream. All right, I appreciate you just hanging out with us. Like I said, this is what the community is about. We just talk about this stuff. We try to help each other out the best we can. There's been a lot of people, that I've run into that have been around for a really long time. When it comes to the channel, when it comes to us having conversations on the side, sometimes we have email conversations. Sometimes we have messenger conversations. Definitely conversations here in the stream, also conversations in the video comment section. But yeah, it's just us getting to learn ourselves, learning one another, learning how to communicate, and hopefully, even if it's you did a great job, like you didn't eat junk food for a week. That's awesome. That's the kind of stuff we promote here. We promote, good vibes, good benefits. We try to help each other get to that next level of whatever they're trying to accomplish, because not everybody's trying to lose weight. Some people are, they might have muscular sclerosis. They might have Hashimoto's disease or something like that. And they're just trying to find their own solutions and their own answers, either through using weight loss strategies, carnivore fasting strategies, and stuff like that. And I find those topics really interesting because I don't have MS. I had a friend that had MS and she passed away. Hashimoto's, that's a new one to me. I don't know much about Hashimoto, so I find that incredibly interesting. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of talk about it, Hashimoto's and how carnivore might work to benefit Hashimoto's or not work. I mean, I just don't know. So I'm curious about some things like that. So I find that incredibly interesting. I bet I are talking so long, my burgers are cold. Wow. Oh, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. Holy crap. Yeah, you guys keep me entertained too, because when I can't think of something to talk about and you guys put something up here in the thread, it gives me a lot more motivation to stick around longer and talk about stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know. Hey, Amber, are you still on here? What are you guys doing right now? I mean, are you just hanging out at the house and not doing a whole lot of anything? Or Donna? I'm not sure who's in here. We got Felix there at home. He's preparing some food. It says there's 16 people up there. That's 16 people that have thumbs. They can say something. Just click on a button. It says watch live, and you can say something in the stream here if you want. Or just give me a smiley face or something. I don't care. Let me know there's a human in the room. So far, I'm not getting any updates. Oh, it says you guys are still there. Okay. Well, maybe that's it for this stream. I think I'm running out of interesting things to talk about. Okay. My eating habits are seasonal. During spring and summer, I eat less and drink coffee water during the winter. I eat more. I do miss seal and reindeer meat. Yeah, seal oil is something that my Akas like to put on a lot of their food. Amber, I just came back from a birthday lunch. I hope you did okay at the birthday lunch because I know how those things go. I had a hard time when I first started losing weight is because I was working at a auto parts company, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and they were constantly, we were right next to the Costco, like literally in the same parking lot as the Costco. So they would always run over and grab Costco pizza. And I was a pizza addict, so it was really hard for me to stay out of that. And then there was always somebody offering, potato chips or, soda or this or that. And it was really hard to stay away from that stuff when I first started losing weight. But I got over those humps. I'm glad I did. But it was hard. It was really hard. Because once in a while I just find myself eating a pizza out of habit. You know, you leave me alone with a pizza, it's a pretty dangerous situation. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Well, all right, guys, we got this stream. We're just about 2 hours in right now. Let's see, Heather P. What do we got there? I spoke to my doctor today about starting carnivore diet. She said, absolutely not. Very bad for your arteries. So now I'm at a loss. Well, I did the same thing, Heather. All right. Now, my doctor didn't tell me not to. Now, what my doctor was more concerned about, because I've been involved with my own medical team throughout this whole process of weight loss, fasting and stuff like that. So he questioned my fasting ability when I first started too. He said, is this going to be sustainable? And it took me a couple of weeks to come up with my own conclusion. Like, no, I don't think I can perpetually fast for the rest of my life and be happy about it. So I started down a keto type journey and stuff like that. And moved on to KetoVore, moved on to carnivore type stuff. Now, I mentioned I was doing carnivore, and he just kind of had that sideways eye roll, like, okay. Anyways, so that's where I was. I was kind of had a feeling like he wasn't on board with it. You know, he was definitely going to he was getting curious about blood work and stuff like that, see where I was going. Because here's what happens with a lot of these doctors is they hear that somebody's going to do a carnivore diet, or they hear somebody's going to go vegan. That's where the eye roll comes in. It's like, okay, I've heard that 1,000 times. I know this person's not serious. They're lying to me. You know, it's just like when we go to the dentist and they ask you, have you been flossing your teeth? And you say, yes. And then the dentist is looking in there and he's like, no, you haven't. You know, doctors have a good idea, you know, if we're going to actually be doing the diet or not doing the diet. Now, when you do the carnivore diet, and we're just hypothetically speaking, like we say we're doing the carnivore diet and we're not doing it, but we're just saying it to either feel like we're part of the crowd or whatever, we're not getting the benefits from that. So the doctor would automatically, naturally give an eye roll. But since I started all of this, you know, I've got a couple videos out right now about my blood work and stuff like that. My cholesterol is fantastic. My numbers did elevate a little bit, but they're not going through the roof. I mean, I eat a lot more salt now, but I eat a different type of salt. You know, I learned about the benefits of making my own electrolytes at home versus going out and buying the stuff, the processed stuff. I mean, we're in a community that talks about overly processed foods being bad, overly processed everything being bad, but in the same community, we're promoting overly processed products. That's a confusing one for me. I've still had a hard time with that. It's like, dude, you know, because whenever you overly process something, mistakes can be made and stuff like that. So it's like, well, why would I buy your overly processed stuff just because you say it's from you and it's good? Because in the back of my mind, my cogs are turning all the time. So if you say something good for me or something's healthy for me, the first thing I'm going to do is try to poke holes in that ship. And I'm going to try to poke a hole so freaking deep in that ship, the ship's going to sink. I have yet to have been able to do that with the carnivore diet. The KetoVore diet, the only holes that I got done poking holes in the keto diet, mainly because I was just confronted with so many confusing conflicts of interest when it came to keto packaged products, you know, stuff that's labeled keto safe, which is no different than Cheerios saying heart healthy on the front of their package. We all know that's not true. So a lot of these keto products are doing the same thing. And I don't believe there's any keto police out there, you know, saying like, oh, that needs to be taken off the shelf because that's not technically keto. You know, I don't know, because if I'm on a keto diet, I'm not trying to eat stuff like potatoes. And that's one of the ingredients in a lot of these keto products is potatoes. I'm like, and then cellulose and all kinds of other stuff in there. So I don't know. I mean, you gotta kind of make your own decisions in life. I mean, if you have other underlying issues that I'm unaware of, I mean, I understand, you know, because some people have diabetes, some people have, you know, different strange things going on. So everybody's got to kind of figure out, you know, what's going to work for them. In my situation, vegetables don't work for me because vegetables make me constipated. I had a whole lot of issues from vegetables I didn't even know I had until I eliminated vegetables for a period of time. And when I started adding them back in, I started recognizing what the vegetables were actually doing to me and doing to my gut. So, I mean, it's up to you. Some people do extremely well on an all vegetable type diet. An omnivore diet isn't too bad. But the thing is, no matter what you choose, Heather, try to stray away from the overly processed foods. You know, if you flip over a package and it's got like 30 ingredients on it, and you have to actually break out a dictionary to figure out what these ingredients are, what they do, where they come from, what it's going to do to you personally, yeah, you might want to stay away from that stuff. High fructose corn syrup, doesn't matter. You know, even condiments, flip your condiment package around, take a look at it. I don't care if it's the little ones you get, you know, at the store or with your stuff. You know, soy sauce isn't exactly the greatest thing in the world. So yeah, soy products, I avoid those. I avoid seed oils, vegetable oils, high fructose corn syrup. I will forgive some natural sugars, for instance. In this product here, this Tabasco sriracha sauce, it does have a little bit of natural sugar in it. But since it's not high fructose corn syrup, I know I'm getting pretty close to whatever they're saying is in this product here. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm not going to hyperventilate about this as an issue when it's compared to when you look at a other product that says, oh, I got it over here. This is gonna blow your freaking mind. Actually, it blew my mind when I saw it. So I'm in my kids' room. That's not it. I got a whole shelf of this stuff. You know, like I said, we've been eating unhealthy for so many years. It's still hard for me and my family to really flush the system and get it all out. But here, this is something that a lot of families have had. And everybody likes pancakes. They like waffles. But we got this log cabin syrup. What does it say right there on the front? No high fructose corn syrup. All right, we flip this package around. We start looking at the ingredients list. The first ingredient on the list is corn syrup. Where do you get high fructose corn syrup from? Corn syrup, right? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. The next ingredient is water. So corn syrup is the number one ingredient. The next ingredient is water, and the water gives it the swishy swish. And then the next ingredient after that, sugar. So you got the corn syrup, sugar, okay, and then you got water, and then you got sugar, okay. And then it's got natural flavors. Natural flavors could be anything. I mean, why it's okay for these companies just to put natural flavor on these packages and just not tell the truth? Like, hey, what is the natural flavor? I mean, where's the natural flavor coming from? It could be anything. It could be dirt, it could be mud, you know, it could be under armpit. I mean, who knows what natural flavor is? We don't know, and they won't tell us. And what else has got in there? Sodium hexamethylate. I don't even know what that is. I can't pronounce it. Sodium hexamethylate, methoxsate, whatever that is. Okay, sodium benzenate, sorbic acid. It's got preservatives in here. Caramel color. Where's the caramel color coming from? Okay, is that an oil-based product? I don't know. Some sort of phosphoric acid, mono and diglycerides. I mean, this is like the perfect storm of no. I mean, it's absolute perfect storm of no. I wonder where the ADHD comes from. I mean, when we're doing stuff like that, and we're doing it for years upon years upon years, not thinking about it, and we're looking at the front of these packages and we're seeing these lies. No high fructose corn syrup. I mean, right there. Really? And then the keto products, same thing. We're being lied to. And it makes me question some of the carnivore type stuff too. And they say, you know, grass-fed, stuff like that. It's like, okay, who is policing these labels? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're policing them for the carnivore type stuff either, you know, the meats. Because I know if you buy something that says grass-fed, grass-finished, it's going to cost you a lot more. Are these people lying to me? I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I mean, you guys are pretty good at coming up with your own mind on these situations. And I mean, yeah, anybody can go out and research this stuff just like I do. But question everything, especially if you agree with it. If you agree with something, question it. And that's going to be the best way to keep you safe. Corn syrup is high fructose. I thought so, Donna. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they break down all this wording and stuff, but it baffles me that it says no high fructose corn syrup. And then on the very back, first ingredient says corn syrup. That to me throws a red flag. And it's like, somebody's lying to me. Why would you do that? And this happens on a lot of products. So many products, it blows me away, where it says, it's healthy product or it's keto friendly. And then you turn it around and you start really digging into it. And it's like, wow, that's like the furthest thing away from healthy. Oh, my burger's getting cold. I've been talking a lot. I appreciate you guys, by the way. Sodium benzenate kills white blood cells. That's awesome. No. Felix Ollie, you remind me of my late mother. I don't know. It's odd to mention. She used to talk about all of this when she was alive. That's very interesting. And unfortunately, Felix, I'm no different than anybody else. When my parents used to tell me stuff, I didn't listen either. I mean, it wasn't the fact that I didn't listen. I heard them. I just thought I was fine. Like, oh, whatever. I'm young. I don't care. And a lot of us, we don't start losing weight. We don't start taking accountability for our own situation until we get into a situation where we have to. You get a diagnosis all of a sudden. Like Felix said, I believe Felix said they were thin and, pretty slender. But you can be very slender and all of a sudden have just diabetes out of nowhere. What are you going to do now? Now you're going to really start focusing if you got a diagnosis. Without the diagnosis, whatever, no harm. I can eat this, I can eat that, I'm just fine. But as soon as you get a diagnosis of something, or you get that medical report that says, hey, it says it right in front of you, you're morbidly obese. That hurt me when I saw that piece of paper. It said I was morbidly obese. And at the same time it said that, I was fighting with sleep apnea. I was fighting with high blood pressure. I was fighting a number of potential issues. Never once diabetes, though. My blood sugar was always great, which is hard to imagine. My cholesterol levels when I was eating normal food was all over the place. My blood pressure was high. I was highly emotional. I was very hormonal. I was agitated easily. I was argumentative about everything. I couldn't have a normal argument without becoming overly dramatic, like the Karens you see on the internet. Yeah, like one of those. But yeah, just without the diagnosis, it's hard to get somebody started, even if they're in pretty good health. Your name is Big Man. Are you big down there? I'm big everywhere. That's the problem with me. That's why I'm called Big Man Alaska. Right on. Let's see. You're doing so well now, John. I'm just trying to regain some of my life, Donna. That's the hardest part. Oh, you could have left that one there. That was innocent enough. I play well with these people. They come, they go. But I mean, there's really not, unless it bugged you. I get it. If there was something you thought that was inappropriate, by all means, take it down. That's why I gave you guys the little wrenchy things there, because it is helpful, especially when I get these. Because some of these spammers, I was talking about this with Carnivore Cure last night in a text message. Because we were trying to figure out some of the things we got going on here on these channels. And what is that? Is that a clickable link? I wonder why that's there. Because normally we can't. I thought we weren't allowed to put clickable links in here. Now I'm not saying you can't put clickable links in here, but somebody tried putting a clickable link in one of these streams the other night and it didn't work. So, but that one there is highlighted blue and clickable. Let's see, promotes cancer and kills healthy cells. Interesting. I wonder why that's there. I didn't notice it the first time you posted it up there. But yeah, we're actually doing fantastic. I mean, I want to get out and I want to go for walks and stuff like that. That's something I'm going to have to probably get off here pretty soon and get to doing. Let's see. Clickable links work. Well, yeah, but normally they don't work in a vertical type stream, is why I was curious that I actually saw it highlighted blue, because other people have tried to put some clickable links in these vertical streams. And also they don't work in the shorts feed, and this is technically considered the shorts feed. So I was really surprised to see it there. I'm not against them, but especially if it's relatable type information. But I was talking about this with Todd last night. I said, yeah, the reason that I was told that they weren't allowed is because sometimes you can over spam one of these live feeds. So if people come in here and just start hammering away with these spamming programs, it can actually shut down the server and yeah, shut everything off. And it creates a mess for YouTube, and it creates a mess for us here, you know, that are just trying to hang out and have a good time and talk to people. But, okay. Although I do think I'm gonna hop off here, and I'm gonna probably toss this in the microwave and heat it up again. It's really cold. It's not very tasty right at the moment. So I just want to say God bless all of you. And if you're struggling and you're hurting and you're looking to lose weight, by all means, please subscribe to the channel. This is what we talk about here. I'm currently doing the carnivore diet because it works for me. But I talk about all kinds of diets, not just the carnivore diet, you know, because you can find benefits in so many different ways. And the best and easiest way to find benefits is just get rid of the carbs and the sugar. Low carb, no carb, ketogenic type diets really work. And they work to do a lot of things. They make us healthy. They make everybody just in a much better mood. And it's a lot easier to understand one another when you don't have all that sugar static in the brain. You get rid of the sugars, you can actually retain information. You can understand people a lot better. You become more compassionate, empathetic for your neighbor that's having a situation, and you can just handle emergency situations just like that. So yeah, anyways, I got a new one in there. Yeah, God bless. Yes, thank you. God bless all of you. Northern Stitchers, have a great rest of your day. I do appreciate you guys. I mean, I know this has been a kind of a slow feed, but you guys are amazing, and you help keep the feed going a little bit longer. And I wasn't planning on being on here for over 2 hours, but yeah, I do feel blessed by your presence, and every time you guys come in, it's so much fun. All right, guys, I'm gonna fumble with these buttons and get on out of here. Thank you, Felix. I appreciate you jumping in, and we will talk again if you jump in again. And yeah, always comment on any of my videos you might catch. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys.